Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soul Thoughts with Misha, the podcast about spirituality and the blend of it into the modern life. The podcast is also about transformation and well being from all different perspectives. And today I have with me Alex from Grounded Path Yoga and Wellness. Alex is a holistic practitioner, healer. She does Reiki, Ayurveda, yoga, and so many different tools and approaches. So, welcome, Alex. And if you want to introduce yourself better, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Misha. Thank you for having me here. I think you said most of the things. I am a yoga teacher, but also a yoga student. I will always be. And yes, I was trained also in Reiki and Ayurveda when I traveled to India. And this is what I offer to the world. And this is what I practice every day as well. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I'm so happy that you're here because we are now streaming from Prague and Canada.
Yes.
And we have met in Prague, I don't know how many years ago, a long time
Maybe
ago.
I think about 6 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And we were both on very different paths. But yeah, so I think we both somehow switched our journeys. And what you claim, what you say, one of your, I think, strongest claims is that each of us has to find our own path. We have to crave it. It's not prepared, it's not made. We really have to just go and try. But when we do that, I believe that we should listen to our soul. And it's so great if it's linked to our soul's project. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
What are
exactly.
your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think that we all have a path, right? When we come to this life, we all have a path. We just don't know it yet, or we forget whenever we are born. We forget it. And in the yogic tradition, we call it the Dharma. Maybe you've heard of this word, Dharma. That's your life's purpose. And we all have one, but a lot of us, if not all of us, have forgotten about it because, like, the way we are educated, we are raised, the jobs, the life we are living nowadays, like, we are just forgetting about our true purpose. We are framed, we are shaped to think a certain way, to act a certain way, and we forget our true calling. So this path is always there for us. We just need to take time to listen to ourselves, to listen to our intuition, and to find it again. Yeah.
So are you on your soul path?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think you know when you are on it. You can never be too certain because the universe always has a little surprise for you. And I think you may be on one path at some point, and then the universe will redirect you towards another path, but that's also meant for you. So for me, I think my path now is to be a yoga teacher and, yeah, holistic healer, like you mentioned. And it was not easy to find it. Like, I think it all started in Prague, actually, because this is where I took my first yoga class in Czech, and I didn't understand anything what the teacher said. But it started there, I can tell you, because I felt it within me, even though I was not understanding what the teacher was saying in that class. I felt that it was doing something good within me. So I kept going, and then she adapted the class, said a few words in English, and that was really helpful. But yeah, long story short, a few years later, I did my yoga teacher training in Canada, thinking that, yeah, okay, I do it, why not? But I was still working on the side. But then when I did it, I was like, okay, like, this is life-changing. I need to follow that path. And when you become a yoga teacher, it's not only about the yoga poses that you do on your mat. It's much more than that. What yoga is a way of life. Yoga is a way of thinking, it's a philosophy. Yoga has been there for many, many years, thousands of years. And when you read the ancient texts of yoga, you realize that there is a lot of wisdom in there. It's really not only the yoga poses, but what we know now from it, it's much more than that. So you understand a lot about energies, about your body, your physical body, but also your spiritual body, energy body, emotional body, all the different bodies. And so this is why when I discovered about it, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like everybody should know about it. Why we don't teach this at school,
I know.
right?
I'm
And
asking the
so,
same. Why no?
yeah, because I mean, I use more of my like emotional intelligence than mathematics in my daily life, to be honest. But that's another topic, I guess. Yeah, when I discovered about it, I was like, yeah, people should know about it. So I decided to make it my life's path to share it with the world. And not only about, okay, yoga, but about different holistic practices too. So that's why I took a Reiki training. That's why I learned about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. So everything is connected in the end. So it's not like I do yoga and I do Reiki. I work in this field of holistic healing.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, this is what I offer now. And this is what I practice too, because I believe that you need to practice what you preach. Otherwise, it's hard to share it with the world. And yeah, you need to know what you're talking about with your clients, with your students. You need to know that.
True.
So yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think what you just described is your journey to the soul's path, soul's purpose, like connecting the dots, picking up different puzzles from the complex teaching of life. I would say it's a teaching of life. It's really
Mm.
yeah, it's not, as you said, not just Reiki, not just Ayurveda.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the signs how we can maybe know this is it when we start with ourselves, like because primarily you started to do yoga for yourself, you started
Yeah.
to learn to understand, and you were so innate in it, like okay, this is it. It helped me so much to understand, to feel better, to feel more fulfilled life, and then you want to spread out the work. And I had
Yeah.
it very similar, so I'm more focused on the energy work with sound, but it's also not just one thing. And I cannot just say, okay, I pick this small piece because I'm also
Mm.
adding different tools. But I also started for myself. And then when I
Yeah.
realized the power of it, I thought the same. Why are we not taught that in school? Why
Yes.
society doesn't know more? Because it's there, especially in the Eastern traditions, right? In
Yeah.
India,
Yeah.
countries like that, it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so, so present. Yeah, in India, people live it every day. I mean,
Mm.
you don't have to go on your mat and do the yoga poses to be practicing yoga or to work with energy. It's a lifestyle. You just wake up in the morning and it's the way you connect to yourself and the way you connect with the world. And that's the practice. You
Mhm.
don't have to be like, okay, praying the whole day or connecting with ancestors the whole day. It's how you show up in this life. This is the practice because you will deepen the connection with yourself. And I think this is the most important. And that connection, that energy that you're cultivating will have a ripple effect as well. So everybody around you will also benefit from it, whether they know it or not. Because even your neighbors, when you do your work, even your neighbors are benefiting from it. Your
Yeah.
colleagues, whoever is around you in your field, they are going to benefit from it.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's funny that, as you said, I think most of the time people don't know and people don't realize it.
Mhm.
And that's how they, I'm sure this feeling or knowing when someone is happy to be with you or next to you, or they enjoy your time, they
Yeah,
enjoy your energy, and when they don't. So this is it exactly.
yeah,
Like it's a
yeah,
ripple
you
effect.
can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of my clients, when they come to my space here, because I do my clients meeting here in my apartment, one of the first things they say when it's the first time they come is like, wow, the energy here is really peaceful. I love the energy here. I love your energy, Alex. Like if they met me somewhere
Mhm.
else, somewhere outside, maybe in a yoga class, a public class, they tell me about my energy and that's what they were attracted by.
Yeah.
So it's really how you live your life that's going to have the ripple effect because the people feel it and then
Yeah.
they're attracted to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in the
Yeah.
space, you can feel the energy in the space. So, yeah.
Mm.
But you mentioned something about, yeah, listening to yourself and doing the work for yourself first. And maybe I want to add more about my life story.
Yeah, please go.
Because when I started practicing yoga, I had no idea about like all the benefits it could have, that it was a spiritual practice, or I thought it was just for the physical body, you know, and I was like, yeah, I feel better, I feel good. But then
Maybe
it
because it was
started,
in Czech, you know?
yeah, so I had no idea what was happening. But you know, I was feeling so good in my body and also in my mind. I was more at peace. But it started raising a lot of questions also,
Mhm.
like for a reason. The moment I started practicing yoga, I started asking myself, like, why am I doing this job? Like we were working in a very big corporation.
Mhm.
And for me, I was like, what am I doing there? Like, there is no sense for me. I don't even like the projects that we are selling. And yeah, nothing was making sense. So when you start having those questions happening, I think this is when the awakening is starting. You're waking up from this, like you're in a fog. You don't
Yeah.
know why you're waking up in the
Yeah.
morning. You don't know why you're doing this job. You don't know why you're having those friends, those relationships. Like it's just there, but you don't question it. You just go
Mhm.
with the flow. But when you start awakening and finding pieces of your life's path, then those big questions are starting to pop up and you realize, oh, yeah, like maybe this is not for me. Maybe I need to change something. Like, why am I doing that? Am I happy? I mean, yeah. So all those big questions, you don't have the
Yeah.
answer about them, but of course you want to be happy. You want to wake up for a reason. You want to create something bigger, maybe. And this is when the awakening starts. This is when you start walking on your path, I think. And the path, you
Mhm.
start creating it then
Mhm.
because you ask yourself those questions and then it starts unfolding, 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 but little by little. And the more you start listening to your intuition and getting towards that direction, then the path unfolds, unfolds, and unfolds more and more.
Mhm.
And yeah, you just have to listen. Be quiet, listen, ask
Yeah.
yourself the right questions, and then slowly, slowly, it will get there. But it's
Uh-huh.
not an easy task.
So it's not,
Yeah.
it's not. But
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts when you're talking about this because one of them is when you said that you just question, you have, you keep asking yourself like, why do I do this? How should I live? Where should I go? What are my friends? Like all these questions. And then the path unfolds. But I think that's what I see a lot, the main problem or the main maybe fear of why people stay stuck where they are, because there is so much uncertainty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you really have to trust, you really have to believe, like there is also fog, there is also like
Mm-hmm. That's
darkness,
true.
like there is nothing, there is so often so much emptiness, and we just have to believe that something which is right for us will pop up there, we can create there, but
Yeah.
it's very difficult. And I've been questioning that for myself on my path, sometimes, when I'm like, okay, should I go left or right? But
Mm.
then I just believe and I just trust and I surrender, and I know that it will unfold. And
Yeah.
of course, I could choose a different direction. Yeah, more certain job, in a corporate or
Yeah.
somewhere. There will be the certainty, that's for sure. There will be the
Yeah.
certainty. But is it the happiness? Like, I
Mm.
think the society creates so much pressure with the ideal life, how we should live. Like, we should
Mm.
have at certain age family, and certain age we should have this title in the job, we should have this amount of money in our accounts,
Yeah.
and then we will be happy. Like, but is it really so? you know
Yeah.
and then what if not? And then you're waking up every day with uncertainty. because the entrepreneurial journey, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's also a lot of uncertainty. Yeah.
but it's also so much happiness when you see that the puzzles are actually clicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an easy journey for sure. And like we chose the path of becoming entrepreneurs, but a lot of people's path will be to still work for a company, work for someone else, whether big or not, or small company, doesn't matter. But maybe on the side, they take care of their garden and this is what they bring them joy and this is their path, you know? You don't have to become an entrepreneur to like be a spiritual person or have everything figured out. No, like everybody's path will be different and you can still be working for someone else and be the best parent ever and that's your life's path. So
Mhm.
it can
Yeah.
be a different awakening for everybody. And
Yeah.
yeah, for you and me, we decided to choose that path because we have maybe this fire within and we want to be independent and we have gifts that we want to share with the world. But for some other people, it's different types of gifts. And
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yeah, that's
everybody's
true.
path is different. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I am so happy you said it, because part of the awakening and what you also mentioned is conscious way of living. And it doesn't have to be that you stop working in a company, but it can be really conscious choices, either taking care of your garden, be the best mom or dad in the world, or be the best friend of someone or not, right?
Mhm.
Like consciously choosing the relationships in which we are, consciously choosing the environment where we are, where we
Yeah.
live. Maybe we live like 30 years in the same apartment in the city center, and then we just feel that we just want to go to the nature. And I think that's
Yeah.
also the big part of the awakening and more connected way of living, let's say, because also not everyone has to be super spiritual. It's really conscious way of
Yeah.
living that you make conscious choices. It can be also just let go of the old.
Mm.
And if you feel calling to do something,
Yeah.
to go somewhere, you just go for it. Of course, not like hot-headed,
Mm.
it's good to also take a step back, get grounded, and then
Yeah.
move forward. But it also reminds me, because you're moving out of Canada now,
Yeah.
a few weeks, going to Australia. And I think that's exactly the case. You just feel like you should go, so you pursue that plan, right?
Yes. I mean, honestly, I lived in many countries and I was in Australia already 10 years ago
Uh-huh.
before coming to Prague, in fact. So I'm just realizing that now, before living in Czech Republic. And I loved Australia. I really, really loved it. So I always thought I would go back. It was always
Mhm.
in my head. But then when I moved to Canada, to Vancouver 4.5 years ago, I was like, oh, I really love it here too. Like, it's going to be hard. I don't want to leave Canada when I arrived. So I stayed 4.5 years here. This is the longest time where I lived in a country outside of France, of course. So that means a lot because otherwise I was always moving like every year, 2 years, 3 years, I was changing country. So 4.5 years, it's longer for me. And I really enjoyed it here. But now the person I've become, like Canada brought me so much. I've grown so much. I've met so many incredible people that helped me to become who I am today. And also my vision of life, I won't say it has changed, but it has been reshaped. So, like I was talking at the beginning, you have a path, but then the universe will direct you a little bit more
Yeah.
left or right, and the path is going to be reshaped. Your life's vision is going to be reshaped. So I think it was always there. I just didn't know exactly how it would look like. But now I was able to like reframe it, reshape it, and it's becoming more clear now. And I know that I cannot bring this to life here in Canada. It's not going to be in Australia neither. But we're going to Australia as I guess, a step to the next stage of our life with my partner. And we want to just enjoy. Honestly, it's also perfectly fine to take a break and go enjoy your life, live in the sun, live with the day, like as the sun rises, as the sun goes down.
Mhm.
It's perfectly fine to do that. It's perfectly fine to take a break and to go have fun. And that's what we're going to do for about a year. We're still going to work, but
Mhm.
differently from our lives here. And then the vision that we have, we're going to try to bring it to life when we go back to France. Mm. That's the
Mhm.
plan. Maybe
That's
after
amazing.
we go back to France, but who knows? Like anything can happen in the meantime. So
Mhm.
we stay open. We stay open to the signs of the universe. Like maybe the universe will say, no, actually, you go to Indonesia and you build a retreat center there. Like who knows? Anything
I'm
is
coming to
possible.
visit wherever
Yes.
you build your retreat center. I'm gonna visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So step by step, the vision is being refined and refined and refined because you connect more and more with your intuition and with your life's purpose, with your Dharma. And
Mhm.
step by step, you get closer to it, even though like it seems that Australia might be like, okay, we are taking a detour, we are going away from, like we could as well just go back to France now and start building this now. But no, we want to go to Australia first. But I think because it's gonna bring us something, maybe a missing piece,
Yeah.
and we just stay open to that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
grow, he's gonna grow, like we're gonna evolve, have new ideas, meet other people. Like you never know, something is there for us. That's why we're called to go to Australia, and we'll see what we take out from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's amazing that you do it because I also believe it. There is something for you, like another piece of the puzzle, another piece of information, maybe some people, maybe some knowledge, whatever it
Yeah.
is, you will grow. And from that point, your vision of the retreat center or whatever you want to build in France at this moment will expand and grow again as well, right? And
Exactly.
actually, I don't see it as a detour necessarily. I think it's just a
Yeah.
road which is not straight. It's just like
Exactly.
a
That's
certain,
just the way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Nothing is ever like so straight. There is nothing as straight. Even like when I hear in a yoga class, like when teachers say straight spine, like find a straight spine. I'm like, spine is never straight. Nothing is ever straight in life. There's always a little curve, always a, yeah.
Yeah.
So just have to follow that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And also, we're talking about the path of the soul, the journey of the soul, the purpose of the soul. But I also believe it's not only linked to work or
mm,
to, yeah, let's say work or some project as such. I
yeah.
actually also think that our soul's purpose, like why we are here, is also to enjoy life. At least that's
Mm-hmm.
what my soul is telling me a
100%.
lot. Just like we are here to have fun, we are here to have good food, to
Yeah.
dance, to swim, and to soak the sun, what she said, like which the sunset, which the sunrise. This
Mm,
is what I'm here for too. That's
yeah.
also my soul's purpose. It's not just
Yes.
doing and learning and sharing my knowledge. It's also just be in the present moment and
Yeah.
live. Just live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Like we didn't come here to suffer.
Yeah.
Although like maybe some karma from past lives or ancestors, like you may be suffering in this life, but there is always a reason for that. But that's another
Mhm.
story. Like
Yeah.
you, like for sure, we didn't come here to work, work, work all the time. Even in our soul's business,
Yeah.
we love what we do, but also we don't want to be working all the time. Like sometimes you don't realize, but you are answering emails at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and you're like, no, like I'm allowed to have a break and to enjoy my evening. If you want to, by all means, please do. If that brings you joy to answer this email,
Mhm.
yes. However, you're also entitled to have a break and to have a weekend and to have holidays. And if you want to live your life like it's long-term holiday, then why not? You know?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
it brings you joy, if it brings you happiness and you're able to pay your bills and continue living, that's totally fine. Life can be a full-time holiday.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm adding it to my field now.
Yes, we're gonna manifest this. Life
Yeah,
can be a holiday. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But it's
Holidays
also
were invented by, I don't know, by societies. Like you have to work hard and then you get a reward and you can take time off. That's just a creation from someone.
Mhm.
That's just the reality of one person that then a lot of people came to believe it's also part of their reality, but it's not true. You can reshape that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not
Yes.
true. It's the same with how the perception of money and how we get money and how much we are entitled to get for how much work, right? It's also
Yeah.
someone created that ratio. It differs in each country, of course, but we can change that too. Like,
Yeah.
no one said that we have to work 40 hours per week to get that amount of money, or actually, someone
Yeah.
said that, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's just their belief. And
Exactly.
you can reshape it and you can work 100 hours per week for a little amount of money, or you can
Yeah.
just switch it, right? So
Exactly. You
yeah,
decide. You
yeah,
decide. Yeah. That's
yeah,
the beauty of it. And you and I were creating new realities and also showing others that it's possible. So
yeah, yeah.
that's the
And
beauty
while
of it.
being healthy and happy. So I think
Yeah.
whoever is interested in creating their own reality and and
Yes.
holidays as the lifestyle, you guys should join us in our program.
Yes. Yes. We're not living in a dream. We're living a reality. We're
Yeah.
creating a reality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think the important point to tell that is also that we also face problems. We also
Oh,
face
yeah.
different struggles. For example, that uncertainty, or yeah, there is many others. Because sometimes what I see when I talk about what I've built in my life and how I live, and then still sometimes, especially from some of my old friends, they just think that everything is unicorns all the time,
Yeah.
sparkles. It's not like everywhere we
Mm.
have to go over different, you know, lessons, but
Yeah.
it's also linked to the karma, which you talked about. It's just lessons, the karmic bonds, which we just, if we see it, if we learn from it, if we heal it, yeah, we
Yeah.
can
But
keep
it's
it
not easy
going.
to do. Like sometimes it can take lifetimes until some karmic bonds are healed. So
That's true.
let's also, like, we don't want to do any spiritual bypassing or anything like that. It's important to say that it's a lot of work, of personal work. And of course,
Mhm.
like, it's not only rainbows and sparkles all the time, not at all. It's just that we are able to see so much beauty and so much growth and so much abundance because we have gone through lots of
Mhm.
healing already.
Mhm.
And I believe that, like, the life you live is like a pendulum. So you
Mhm.
see, you know what a pendulum is?
Mhm. Mhm.
So as far as you go in the darkness, as far you can go into the light. So the
Ah.
more in the darkness you go, the more in the light you can go, right?
Mhm.
So if you heal a lot, then you're gonna able to expand, grow so much. If you're in this lifetime because of X, Y reasons, if you're only able to go like that far in the darkness, then you're only gonna be able to go that far in the light. And we evolve at different pace. There is no rush into our personal evolution, personal development, because everybody has its own path, it. So for some people in this life, we're going to be able to go that far and that far, but for some people, it's just going to be that expansion. And that's okay, everybody is going at its own
Mhm.
pace, and that's fine. But definitely there is a lot of shit we had to go through to, sorry, excuse my French. We had to heal a lot and face a lot. And yeah, it's not an easy journey. Definitely not.
Yeah.
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 So do you have any maybe tips? You want to share some tips? Like, what do you do for self-care, self-healing?
Oh, Alex, that list would be really long.
Huh?
That would be a really long list of what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing. Because as you said, for me, it's also my lifestyle. I just keep expanding, keep growing, keep
Mm,
myself healthier and healthier.
mm,
So I can't imagine to stop and not to expand to both sides, as you said nicely in the pendulum. But what is it that I would not skip is definitely my energy work. So, what is it that I go to the meditation and I slow down and I connect to myself, to my soul, my higher self, whatever we want to, think of it. I really connect to myself and hear what is it? What is it that I'm supposed to do or not supposed to do? Maybe I'm just supposed to calm down and just sit. What is it that I need to heal? I work a lot with manifestation. So when we talk about the creation of the reality, I just like that's my favorite part, to manifest and create the dream parts of my life. So in my practice, I really sit and listen to what is it that I should or not should do in order to make it happen. But often the answer is heal that part, release that karmic bond. You need to let go of that way of thinking. Or maybe like you need to, that's what happened to me yesterday. I was in a cacao ceremony and what I heard was go to swim, move your body. So that's
Yeah.
what I did today. So it's really my first starting point is to sit into the meditation, connect to myself, clear my energy and listen. And then I just go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
what is it for you?
Well, kind of similar, I would say. Like every day, I have different, say, routines or like things I do in the morning. But I will just say, like, big one is to sit with myself and take a moment to quiet down, quiet the mind, connect with myself. I do some yogic practices, so some purification breath and different types of breath to
Mhm.
like clear the energetic channels that we have within us, the nadis. I move my body different ways depending on how I feel every day. So when I move my body, it's usually yoga, but it can be like going for a walk or doing some strength training a bit, or yeah, going for a swim maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, meditation is part of my routine. Like every day I have to. And chanting, using my voice.
Mhm.
I chant every day mantras and connecting to higher consciousness, higher spirits,
Mhm.
listening to the messages, to the guides, and then bringing that down here and acting on it. Or not
Oh,
acting. Sometimes what you have to do
yeah,
is just surrender. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You don't
exactly.
always have to do something. You don't
Yeah,
always have to be healing. Like it can be very tiring. Like,
yeah. And I
yeah.
think the surrender part is can be tough one for many of us and hard to follow because yeah, I'm now in the surrender period where I really feel for many days and weeks that I need to surrender in certain areas and just integrate whatever happened before and
Yeah.
for the rest surrender. But then I also have a lot of ideas and channeled information about the next steps. So like to find the
Mm.
balance of
Yeah.
surrender and action is really
Yeah.
challenging sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
challenging, but it's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I am still integrating from my trip to India. I came back 2 months ago.
Is it already?
I
It's like
came back two
yesterday.
months ago. Yeah,
Wow.
but I am still integrating because it was such a big transformation for me that it takes time to integrate, to process everything, and it will take still a few months. But I have to also prepare the next step of our life, like leaving Canada, preparing for Australia. So it's hard to stop and
Yeah.
surrender because life goes on. But
Yeah.
that's why I have those sacred mornings. I wake up early and I take a moment to just in silence, in quietness, to integrate a bit, like step by step,
Mhm.
because it takes time.
I also like what you said about chanting mantras and using your voice because it's also often singing as such, whether it's mantra or singing a song or just speaking up with using our voice. It's not always easy. And I think the society also taught us, I don't know how was it for you, but when I was little, when I was singing, I thought I sing really well. But everyone else was like, no, just don't sing. And I realized I also do it to my mom when she sings a song. I told her, no, no, please, please. It's not
Oh
nice.
yeah. Yeah.
So this pattern which we learn throughout the society, but the voice is so much power of us. And
Yeah.
once we learn to use it, we can use it to connecting to the universe, to ourselves.
Yes.
But I believe it's also big healing for our self-confidence, for
Yeah.
who we are, because
Yeah.
it's really making us to step into our own power and
Yeah, exactly.
just voice over
Yeah.
what is it that you are here to say out loud.
Yeah, exactly. Because so many things are being like shut down. You just internalize a lot, and
Yeah.
after a while, it can create disease in the physical or mental body. But if you learn how to speak up and voice your needs, can be just as simple as needs,
Yeah.
then it can already start the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, it doesn't matter like how well or bad you sing.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about the
What about the
vibrations.
performance? Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a performance exactly. It's like when in a yoga class, when I have students like they really want to do a beautiful shape, and I just say out like it's not a performance. It's not about how it looks. It's about how it feels inside. So for the chanting, it's the same. It's not about how well you can sing,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just about the vibrations, because those vibrations, they will match the vibrations of the universe, of different levels of consciousness. And this is what is important, because when you
Mm-hmm.
use your voice, you connect to universe, you connect to whatever is God, spirit, creator, however you want to call it. And that's the meaning of chanting mantras. It's not about like being a good singer.
Yeah, that's so
And I
true.
learned that. I always thought I am such a bad singer. I should not use my voice. But in the end, now I don't care. In all my classes, I make everybody chant mantras. No, not if they don't want to, but I invite
Yeah.
everybody to chant mantras with me because
Mm-hmm.
it's healing. It's so much healing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think life would be so much better and the planet would be so much better if we all just chant mantras, sing, dance, like no one is watching, without judging,
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
performing,
Yeah.
connecting to the ground. And yeah,
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be amazing.
One day, hopefully. But for
Mm.
now, we just have to keep doing the work. And like we said at the beginning, the ripple effect will happen. So chant the mantras at your home, ground with Mama Earth, and everybody around you will benefit from that too.
Yeah.
And step by step, we're going to make a big change,
Mm-hmm.
creating a new world. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exciting. I think that's the best message with which we can finish
Yeah.
this talk, Alex. Thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here and making space for this talk while, surrendering and
Yeah.
integrating time from India and preparing for Australia.
It's
So
my
thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Yeah. Thank
And
you, Misha.
maybe before we completely finish here, people can reach out to you through different channels if you want to share them here.
Yes, so there is I would say my Instagram for start, N, like the letter N, wellness. I have my website, Grounded Path Yoga and Wellness altogether.com. And I think for now that's it. Or my personal Instagram, I don't know, to see my adventures in Australia, it's Alexandra Kardas, Kardas. And yeah, that's good for now, I think. But
Perfect. Well, we'll
thank
add
you,
it to the
Misha.
description
Yeah,
so we can connect. Thank you so much, Alex.
thank you.